What is up, football fans, but most importantly, Houston Roughnecks fans? Welcome to the Roughnecks Rundown. We're 0-3. Things are not great, but we should still stay positive because this is spring football and we at least have football and we should enjoy it. So let's talk about the game and talk about the mistakes and hopefully what we are not going to repeat.
I'm in the big leagues, told them don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly.
All right. Like I said, we lost. Let's review it. Let's learn about what we should not do. There's only one way that I can truly describe this game, and here it is.
All right, look. This is an ass whooping. This is an ass whipping.
Yeah, so for anybody who is a slam ball fan, that was a slam ball clip from when I believe the mob absolutely mopped up the Wrath. They destroyed them by like 30 points, and their coach let them know. But let's get into episode 31.1. This is going to be the review episode. We're going to talk about the loss to the Michigan Panthers, which hurts me because that's my brother's team, but we move forward, we press on. Before we move forward, though, we need to talk about it. So we're going to review the loss. Then we're going to talk about the bad, which it was a blowout. We'll talk about the bad. There was a lot of bad. Then we're going to talk about the good. There were still some good things, and it is important to be able to look at your losses, look at bad things that happen, and realize the good and focus on those, build on those, so that the bad doesn't happen again. And then the last thing, I'm going to explain to you why not to give up. Because a lot of teams, if you go 0-3 in a 10-game season, you're going to give up. Your fans are going to give up. And I am asking you to not do that. And I'll explain why when we get there. So let's review the loss first. We lost 34-20. It was pretty awful. It was worse than the score said. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So it was worse than the score said. Like, we scored a late touchdown there. Didn't get the extra point. So it really should be 34-20 or 34-14. So it should be a 20-point loss instead of a 14-point loss. Like, that last touchdown was a garbage time. It was an ass whooping. We got killed. It was bad. We couldn't stop the run. They were passing all over us. Really, the big backbreaker was that Marcus Sims came out at halftime and he had a 74-yard or 65-yard touchdown pass on us. Like, 2 weeks in a row, this dude has blown huge passes. Like, he takes just a short pass and takes off. It was literally like a 4-yard pass, and he broke 5 tackles. Thank you, RJ Young, for pointing that out. And took off. That was a backbreaker. And then once we had the punt blocked, our third punt blocked in 3 weeks, it was really, really hard to come back from that. So this was a blowout. It looked much worse than the score actually said. Or it was worse than the score actually said. Like I said, third punt blocked this season. That's terrible. You do not want to have 3 punts blocked in a season, let alone in the first 3 games. 1 a game. Each team that we have faced has blocked our punt. The Memphis Showboats blocked a punt, the DC Defenders blocked a punt, and then the Michigan Panthers blocked a punt. That's terrible. It's so bad that Isaac Punts, a YouTuber who has a bunch of followers, a bunch of subscribers, he made a video about how bad it was and about how we should fire our coach. Well, fun fact, I talked to CJ today in the media call, and I asked him what big changes he made, and he said this.
First and foremost, I got another voice in the room that's doing the punt. For some reason or another, the same guy gave up the punt block twice in the season. So I'm gonna take the blame for it. So I'm putting another coach over our punt team. So hopefully that'll solve the problem. They're looking at it, listening to a different voice in that.
All right. So he said he changed the coach. We have a new coach doing punts. Hopefully he's done special teams coordination before, and hopefully we do not have another punt block because you can't win that way. That is brutal. You are handing them the ball with good field position. This week, I think we handed it almost in their red zone. You cannot do that and expect to win the game. Then the last thing is undisciplined still. Now, I put Reed Sinnett, but I put it because he just kind of, it looks like he's looking at the Surface Pro that they love to really point out to you a lot. It looks like he's looking at it disappointedly. And that's what I am. I am disappointed at the fact that we were so undisciplined. It was Oh, so bad. We came out, the first drive was awesome. Literally could not have gone better. Was a perfect drive. Reed Sinnett was spinning it, and it was great. And then immediately, the second time we get the ball, we have 2 or 3 false start penalties in that drive alone. You can't do that, guys. You really cannot do that. And so, yeah, Reed, I just imagine he's watching the false starts over and over on his Microsoft Surface Pro, and he's saying, this is insane. But who here can speak another language? And who here learned it through Duolingo? Hey, let's review your mistakes. I just thought that was a funny one. Let's talk about the bad, guys. The bad was the offensive line. Again, we are again the lowest rated offensive line. That is 3 weeks in a row. That is just brutal. It hurts to see that we cannot protect our quarterback. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not the Memphis Showboats. They were so bad that their quarterback got pulled. But man, our offensive line is brutal right now, from allowing sacks to the false start penalties. It's not good. It's not good, guys. But let's not focus on that too hard. Let's not just sit on it. Tackling. Come on, man. The Marcus Sims touchdown, he broke 5 tackles. He's not a break tackle kind of guy. He's a speed guy. And we couldn't get him down? 5 guys. We have fantastic defensive players, and really a lot of it on that play specifically came down to the fact that you need to wrap up. You need to have good form. We're not trying to just kill people. Don't just throw your shoulder at them. Wrap up. And even if you're not going to take them down right there, at least make it so they can't run away. Hold on to their foot, hold on to their leg, pull their hair. I don't give a dang, man. Stop them. Then penalties. I've said it a lot. I feel like I'm a wind-up toy, and the Roughnecks just keep winding it up, and then I just go, penalties, penalties, penalties. We can't have penalties. Dude, oh my gosh, watch the ball. I don't understand offensive line, how you can have that many false starts. Eventually, just watch the ball. Don't even look at the guy across from you until the ball is snapped. Just stare at the ball, dude, please. And then capitalizing on field position. We started each drive with pretty good field position. One of them, we started in the red zone, and we ended up with a field goal. We really needed to end up with a touchdown. Isaiah Henney came back this week, and he looked like the Isaiah Henney that we knew. The man was returning balls like his life depended on it. I mean, he almost took one all the way to the house, and as soon as he didn't get it, I said, dang, man, I really wish that he had gotten that into the end zone, because I don't know. And I was right. We kicked a field goal instead of getting it into the end zone. He got it down to like the 15. And you're telling me that at the 15, we can't get the ball into the end zone? So we really need to capitalize. We have to be able to finish drives. That's what I said was a weakness for the Panthers last week coming into the game, was that, they get the ball in good field position, they get turnovers, and they can't capitalize. This week, it was like every time they had the ball, they were going to score a touchdown. So we have to do what they did. And every time that we get the ball, in good field position, we have to punch it in. But we can't just focus on the good. On the bad. We got to talk about the good. The good. The run game started. It's not huge. We're still last in the league in rush yards, but we showed some sparks. We showed TJ Pledger was starting to be able to get some holes between the tackles. I thought our run blocking looked better than our pass blocking. We were actually creating some holes. We were getting some push. Reed Sinnett ran a touchdown in. So it's looking like it's getting started. And then if we can get Mark Thompson back, then it will really help, because he's going to break an extra tackler. He's going to give us that extra oomph. So that is a positive that, it may not have been obvious, but if you're paying attention, you notice that, yeah, that was better. Isaiah Henney returned in more ways than one. He returned from the inactive list because he had a bad game week 1. They let him have a week off, be inactive, stay home, chill out. And then he came back, he returned to the active roster, and he returned balls. This man was returning balls so well. He really looked great. He looked like the Isaiah Henney from the Maulers. The man doesn't fair catch. I loved it. He looked fantastic. Then Sinnett had flashes in the media call today. One of the big things that Coach Johnson harped on was that Reed Sinnett really did look good. In that first drive, he couldn't have done anything better. It was perfect. And then from there, it wasn't really his fault. We had a lot of penalties. We were making mistakes. The false starts, the one interception was that it was deflected. Our guy literally bounced it off his chest into Kai Nakua, you're not going to blame the quarterback specifically for that. Could it have been maybe a little bit better of a pass? Sure. But I'm not going to put that entirely on Sinnott. I think he did look good. He was my player of the week for the game. And I don't know. I think it's night and day between when we had Jarrett Garantano back there. He was just struggling to really get it started, get the foot pushed down on the gas pedal, and Reed Sinnott came in. And maybe it's just, I don't know. He just doesn't care as much about getting hit. He's just like, I'll just throw it. I don't know. He looked tough as nails too. I mean, he got murdered one of those plays by Breland Speaks. They actually pulled him. They watched the play in LA at the Army Command Center, U.S. Army Command Center. And they pulled him from the game because he got hit so hard, but he didn't come out. He was ready immediately. He jumped up, fixed his helmet that literally got spun around, and he was like, let's do it. And then the last good thing is that, guys, it can't get worse than this. I don't know if you know this. We're 0-3. We've been ranked the bottom of every single power ranking for the past 2 weeks that I've seen. It literally can't get worse. So why not? At some point, when you lower your standards to the floor, you can only be pleasantly surprised. So that's cool. There's only up from here. So let's talk about the quarterback a little more. Reed Sinnott went 19 for 28 passing, 197 pass yards, 85 passer rating, which is less than last week, but he had that interception, which again, I don't put entirely on him, and a rushing touchdown. That rushing touchdown, he didn't love it because the dive into the end zone wasn't the most athletic thing you've ever seen. But dang it, Reed, you did a good job, man. He was my player of the week. I really liked it. Then the next good thing, man, I really liked it. So yeah, let's just focus on the quarterback, guys. We have a good quarterback. This is good. Oh, I kept the receipts. If he can ball out, I'm going to come at everybody who was talking trash before the season. All right, now, why not give up? A lot of you, I saw you on Facebook lighting it up. Man, those Facebook groups have become the most negative Nelly place I've ever seen. And I beg you, please stop. Please. We all know. We all see it. You posting a 12-page rant on Facebook isn't going to help. No one in the league is looking at it. No one who can do anything cares. You're just bringing down other fans. So please point out positives, talk about fun experiences you had at the games. The Rig Rocker and the Mr. and Mrs. Predator are at the games, and it's so amazing. It's one of the coolest things that's happening in the league as far as fans go right now. I would love it if we could focus on things like that. So again, why not give up? It can't get worse. We can only be pleasantly surprised. What, we're going to lose worse? No, we're losing. We can't lose worse. Then Mark Thompson. I talked to Coach today in the media call. Here's what he said about Mark.
He did practice today. This is the first time I saw him the whole practice. So I hope he can play in the game with us. But it's still, he didn't take all the reps, but he did practice today. So that was encouraging.
There you go. So Mark practiced today. He took some snaps. He's looking better. He might play this week. If he plays this week, we have a very legitimate chance to beat the Arlington Renegades. I mean, they're the only other 0-3 team. It's the mid-off. So we can win this. Keandre Thomas. This is a guy that was very under radars. People don't truly understand what the suspended list means. And usually what it means is that a player gets in trouble with the team or the league. They are no longer with the team, at least for a certain period of time. They may never come back, but their rights are still retained by that team. Keandre was issued a 3-game suspension from the league. We retained his rights. And once his suspension was up, we immediately activated him and brought him back to the roster. And that's because when I talked to Lionel Vitale at game 1 on the field, I was talking to him and he specifically brought up Keandre. He said, that guy is our best corner. When we get him back, it will make a difference. So Keandre is coming back. He's absolutely fresh. He has no bumps and bruises. Our secondary has looked like it's gotten a little bogged down. He's going to come in, rejuvenate that. I believe it'll be him and Jimmy Moreland are going to be our CB1, CB2 with Colby Richardson and Corn Elder. That's legitimate corner room. That right there, that is a practice squad. That is an NFL practice squad corner room right there. And then the last reason to not give up is the league needs us, guys. We have to keep watching the games. We need to support this team because if not, you don't have the Roughnecks. I understand that it sucks right now. I understand that you had a good team. You had a playoff team last year. They scrapped it. They brought in new coaches, new players, and a lot of you aren't happy with them. That's understandable. And I will never not understand that you guys have this anger. First, please don't direct it at the players. These players are honestly just as good as the Houston Roughnecks you had last year. We have so much talent. If you want to be angry at the coaches, that's fine. Half of their job is for people to talk smack to them, for people to tell them that they're terrible. That's fine. But please don't attack the players. This is not their fault. And it hurts to see that. Secondly, if you aren't going to watch the games, if you're going to say, blah, they got rid of our Roughnecks, blah, I don't like what's happening on the field, and you stop watching the games, then that's less people watching the games. That's less people getting ratings. And it's more of a possibility that the league will fail. If the league fails, you do not have a Houston Roughnecks team. You will not have spring football unless you're going to go watch the IFL. You're going to go watch the CFL where you have to get a passport to go watch a game. Guys, you have to support this league. Seriously, I understand that the games suck right now and we're losing, but you have to support this league. So that's me getting on my soapbox. Like I said, it literally, figuratively, and physically could not get worse. So there's only up from here. Rough them up, baby. Drill, baby, drill. I will see you guys next week, and hopefully it'll be our first Victory Monday.
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the UFM United Football Media. If you like that, please make sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you want more videos, you can check them out on our channel over here. The best one for you is right here. And then if you like mine, the rest of my playlist is right here. Thank you guys, and I hope to see you next time.